JJ Okocha and Alexi Wobi, Nwankwo Kanu, most of these young players would want to grow to be like the superstars we have out there. I've got Arturo Lumide right here in the studio, and he's the brain behind the Five Stars Football and the Consultancy Limited. We'll be talking about grassroots football. Once again, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Udoka.
I mean, let's go straight to what it is. What is your interest? Why did you choose to support grassroots sports?
Let me start from saying thank you for having us today.
Sure.
Way back from my secondary school, I've wanted to play football. I played very well, getting to the university, we played for the school team, and then just something somewhere did not work out properly, then we couldn't play professionally. So part of me wanted to be a lawyer, part of me wanted to go further for football. But then here I am, still a lawyer, then still doing football. But then I have so much passion for football, and then I see a lot of talent, ranging from the infanthood to the youth, adolescent, and then to the adulthood. So there are so much things, so much talents to get in especially in Nigeria.
Sure.
We have a lot, and then you were there, I think it was February, March, yes. Yeah. You saw a lot of talent, all the way from Abuja to Ile-Ife to Lagos, and then even while we're doing our tour, Port Harcourt and all of, we've seen a lot of talent. So I can't just help this. I have to forge ahead and get these talents exposed out there.
Now, looking at the exposure of these talents, what are those steps that you've taken in trying to get these talents out of wherever they are from? I heard one of the participants came all the way from Calabar because he heard he heard about the trials on social media. Now, what are those steps you've taken to ensure that you're bringing these talents off, taking them off the streets, picking them from schools and across the country?
Okay, part of those things that we actually engaged in was, like you mentioned, social media, and then also because we're part of a facility in Abuja where people come to play football regularly. So he gave us a huge benefit to actually get a lot of talent together. So from there we started getting football players together, and then that's why we would not stop. And then going back to your question, why do we want to?
And I know you've hosted a couple of competitions here and there, both in Lagos and Abuja. Can you put us through what happened in Abuja about, I think it was about the Abuja Club Cup?
Yeah, that was November 2018. So we had a competition for hospitality industries, and then they played football, and then it was really nice. They liked it. Some of them had branches in Lagos and other sociable cities in Nigeria. So we're like, okay, let's just do this across the country. So he metamorphosed into a nationwide tour. After Abuja, we were in Lagos, February, and then after Lagos, we went to Port Harcourt, May, and then we are going to Ibadan, July. So we're just trying to expand this reach to actually pinpoint what exactly is wrong with grassroots sports, especially football. And then when we have covered all these zones, we'll be able to sit down and analyze properly what are the issues, how do we measure the solutions and all of that. And then people out there, people who are willing to invest into football and invest into sports will see the need why they should do so. So because we as young entrepreneurs, we are doing this. So we know from our efforts, people who have the mind to do that will also support in the long run. Yes. Very
true. Now, supporting in the long run, let's talk about how much of that support you've gotten so far since you started Five Stars Football. I know it's difficult, but I think we should still talk about it.
Okay, I sighed. But the thing is, support has come very, like it's been so minute. I won't lie to you. The sports sector is really, they are really nonchalant about growing grassroots sports, and that's why we are here. That's why we are here today. That's why we can have a complete archery, where we just know that there are players here. All you need to do is just to, maybe we want to prepare for the World Cup, we want to prepare for some games. You just know that there's a particular archery everywhere, not just us as a company, other people. We can spread this across the continent, across the nation. So when we have these kind of initiatives, these are pat on the back to like tell them that, okay, look, we have this. You don't need to hurry and do a lot of stress when we already have something on ground. Yeah, so support. It's not been enough, honestly. It's been little, but thanks to people who have actually contributed, some foundations like the Kick Foundation, the Osasui Binejon Show Foundation, and then some few individuals, some brands that are just trying to see, oh, let's see. But the thing is, again, people have started these kind of initiatives and they stopped. So I wouldn't blame big brands or multinational companies why they are still staying behind to see, okay, let's see how far they can go and see, because sometimes we wrote to La Liga and all of that. So we are still working on different mechanisms to actually make sure that we get more funding to make it better. Because, of course, without money, we can't do a lot.
Very true. Now, looking at what you've done so far, we know you have a team that you work with, a couple of coaches, referees, and all that. How are you able to get these guys to come support your cause? And for the players, because most times you get to see some of these young players who emerge and they suddenly fizzle out. What is your plan? What is there a long-term plan for these players? Are they going to get some sort of scholarships? Will they be enrolled into the national team and all that? What's the future plan?
Okay, let me start from the issue of coaches getting to buy into the project. You know, football is an emotional game. People get passionate about it, and opportunity to play in the national finals in Lagos, and if they win, they go represent Nigeria in Brazil. So these are the kind of things that we want to do, and then exposing these players out there. Who knows, when they get to Brazil, they get scouted people, they get other teams. You know, there are a lot of opportunities in football. So with more participation, both from the other side when it comes to support, and then the passionate ones merged together, will give us the perfect fusion.
Okay, there's the Pension Games 2019. Can you quickly put us through? I think it's coming up around June.
June 22nd and June 23rd. So it's the 4th edition. We've been doing it for the pension industry. That's the Sigma, Legacy, National Pension Commission, and the like. So it's not been easy, but we were getting there. This is the 4th edition, like I said, and then it's a kind of bonding game. We do not only do for teenagers who wants to get scouted and all of that. We also do for older people who used to play football before, who used to do other games, but now they are working. They don't have enough time to do, but we want to bring back that memory in them, make them fit, and then now this leads to work and labor productivity. So it gives them that, you know, when you are fit, physically, you will also be fit mentally. So even while working in their various offices, they work better. Yeah, so they enjoyed it, and now we have the 4th edition. It's going to be massive, and it's holding in Abuja. Yes.
Okay, holding in Abuja. And lastly, we know some of these young talents. Some of them have this notion that for you to play football, probably you have to drop out of school. It's quite difficult for you to balance education and sports. But from your academy, I've seen that most of these guys still want to go to school and be able to combine it with football. Yeah,
so going to school is really important, because I would not be here trying to advocate for them if I did not go to school, you know. I have 2 degrees, and then it's really important to combine education with what you want to do, you know. So
grassroots football will definitely grow, and someday we will become the greatest when it comes to the world of sports across the world. I am Udoka Njoku. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Plus Sport and Plus TV Africa. Do join us again for another interesting package that's tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep it locked down to Plus TV Africa. Of course, we give you the best when it comes to TV programming.
Olúwa ṣẹ́gun fún mi. Ó ṣe mo dúpẹ́. Gbogbo ilé lẹ ti tó gift. Mo rí ikọ̀ tún ni. Ìrí àbúrò abiyamọ ayé abiyamọ ọ̀run wọ́n súre fún ẹ. Ó yẹ sáré gbé bàbá wọlé ó ti ṣú ara ó ti tọ́ ara kò ní jẹ́ tiẹ̀. Wọnú ògo tuntun lọ Olúwaṣẹ́gun. Wọnú ògo tuntun lọ. Ó yá wọnú ògo tuntun lọ. Wọnú ògo tuntun. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi.
Mami, airtime yín kọ́.
Ṣé ìwọ ti rókun tó gbẹ̀rí? O ti rí ọ̀sà kó gbẹ̀rí? Kò lè gbẹ́ ń bì.
Àmín mà.
Àwọn olè ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Lórí àtàwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ ó yá fi sí spíkà.
Wọ́n ń gbọ́ yín.
Ní ẹ̀bùn ńlá tọ́mọ mi gbé wá fèmí yìí. Ọlọ́run á ràn yín lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀yin náà lè ṣerú ẹ̀ fáwọn.
Ẹ ṣàmì mo ti ṣàdúrà. Àmín mà.
Get 10 times your recharge value to call and browse anyhow. Recharge with *220 * the pin hash to enjoy this offer. Available to new and existing subscribers.
Mr. Anansa, èmi ń gbàdúrà, ìwọ ń polówó ọjà, ìwọ náà borí ẹ̀ wá kó wá gbàdúrà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, a dáa fún ẹ. Ṣé orí bó ti ń tajà fẹ́ lòmíì? Àwọn máa sìn wọ́n náà, ìwọ náà àdìrúwà dìgbà, ayé àdára, ò ní dààmú.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Nigerian railway system, taking a look from how it all began to where we are now.
We're so much happy with President.
You can see the level of construction works ongoing. You can see the mammoth crowd behind who have come out to cheer the delegation from the Ministry of Transportation.
They are excited. It will cost them less to come to Lagos now.
We are saving costs for those who do business and encouraging people to do business and creating employment.
29 minutes from Lagos to Abeokuta. Amazing.
Quite impressive. It's a massive project.
So far, so content.
I feel great. I'm excited.
Premiering this Friday at 6:30 p.m. with a repeat broadcast at 9:30 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
I actually moved back to Nigeria to open a bakery. This was my goal, and everything I did up till this point was in preparation for this. First of all, life was great because I moved in 2015 right before the recession, right? It was awesome. I was like, wow, there's so much money out here, man. The cost of overheads, power generation, water, you have to be your own local government. And there are no tax breaks. Many places where they realize the small business environment is difficult would offer some kind of tax break.
President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday in Abuja directed all cabinet ministers to remain in office until the 28th of this May, that's next week Tuesday. The president, who gave the directive during the valedictory session of the Federal Executive Council at the presidential villa, however, instructed them to hand over the mantle of leadership of their various ministries to their respective permanent secretaries on Tuesday. The ministers are to submit their handing over letters to the office of the secretary to the government of the Federation by the set date, May 28th. President Buhari explained that he retained the entire team of the cabinet for 3.5 years due to their unique leadership qualities. The ministers seized the opportunity to also express their gratitude to the president for giving them the rare privilege to serve as members of the Federal Executive Council. Now, members of the Green Chamber have tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to create 2 extra state constituencies in Benue State. The motion calling the attention of lawmakers to the plight of Benue residents was raised by Edward Pwajok from Plateau State and Benjamin Wayo from Benue State. They said that there is an existing federal high court judgment since 2015 which the electoral body has refused to obey. The motion was unanimously adopted by lawmakers during plenary.
First and foremost, there's a standing court judgment which INEC did not even appeal, and the time for appeal has lapsed. Realizing that, that's why they officially wrote to this House that we should give our input by giving approval. They are rather seeking approval for us to give this approval. So, Honorable Speaker, some of us that have similar cases or worse cases or something near worse. This is a window for us to take.
His records found that there was even a consent judgment. The judgment in the Federal High Court was a consent judgment. That means all the parties in the matter, both the plaintiffs and the defendants, all agreed that that constituency should be created. So it means that
as to other areas requiring review to be attended by INEC,